Welcome to the Full Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording. It's 4:12 p.m. that is Central Time. Today is August 23rd, and today being Friday, it's the big picture, long-term audio and video for the various different asset classes. Well, I thought we'd kick off today with a couple of different measures of the size of central bank balance sheets relative to their respective GDP figures. I think that's going to be something that a lot of people will be looking at over the next several months, because it's looking increasingly likely that not only will central banks be cutting interest rates, but they're starting to compete with one another to try and narrow interest rate differentials and to depress their respective currencies. The uh, statement that Jerome Powell made today, saying that time has come to cut interest rates, that they're particularly looking at the job numbers, that I think really helps to emphasize that they're not going to stop at one interest rate cut, but that it will be the beginning of a succession. So that's, I think, one of the more important points. Now, when we think about, well, where are we here? Well, the first thing is that the majority of central banks have been engaged in some form of quantitative tightening for the last couple of years, and that is in direct response to the big jump in inflationary figures that we've had since the initial response to the pandemic, which was basically to throw as much money as required at the problem. What I think this also helps to emphasize is when we look at these charts, back in 2006 and 7, the size of the Fed's balance sheet relative to the economy was pretty stable. It went up and down a bit, but nothing particularly untoward. Then in 2008 it exploded. It went from approximately, what are we going to say, 5.8% to 15% in the space of a couple of months. Then every single time there has been a problem, then it has increased relative to GDP. And that proceeded all the way up to the peak in 2022 when it reached over 35%. So that's a profoundly large amount of money sitting on the sidelines with the Federal Reserve. And of course, what it helped to create was a leverage system so that anyone who wanted money could get it and really pay virtually nothing for it, and could have full confidence that whenever a problem arose, there would simply be a further infusion of new cash. And we are still in that environment where the broad consensus is that perhaps if we do get a big financial problem in the future, the Federal Reserve is just simply going to print the money required.